Right, I'm in the living room again. Not for Project 959, but Project 956. So if you're a Tamiya fan and you've not been living under a rock, you'll know this is the latest release. The 1/10 Porsche 956 in that famous livery. Now, it's not a reproduction of the 1/12 they had a few years ago. It's a 1/10 with an all-new body shell, and it's based on the same chassis that this lovely car is based on, the Group C chassis from Tamiya. This is the Mercedes C11. I made a lot of extra parts for this. The rear supports are machined on alloy, diffuser, light detailing, mirrors, exhausts, and that's a very popular kit. So the same chassis, 1/10 chassis. So what have they done? They've completely retooled, newly tooled a body for the car. Tamiya has a good connection with Porsche, as we know. That's the 956 replica. Good body, nice as we are used to with Tamiya. And there's already a part on it, which I've made. So how did I make that? Well, I have also here a 1/12 Repro, which I started modelling on. You see the wiper is screwed onto that one. 2 screws. Now immediately I've got the advantage here, as some people have, of comparing the two. So obviously this one's slightly bigger. In fact, it fits cleanly over the 1/12. And a couple of ups and downs that I'm a bit bothered about, really. The 1/12 forming, the ducting is way deeper than the new one, so it's much more pronounced, which is great because you can cut out the backs of the ducts and have the dark hole there rather than just putting a decal on it. The front ducts are deeper, all these ducting is deeper, and on the side it's got the exhaust detail plus a ribbed square, which is also a vent. It's got the side panels on the windows, a tow hook on the front, which is not so good on this one, and the rear light cluster on the back. Of course, nicely pulled fins, and it comes with a vacuum formed rear wing, of course. So that's all nice. But this one goes a bit further. It's got the fuel filler caps drawn on there, just a line. It's got moulded hinges on the doors and beacons on the roof. It's got a much better front tow eye forming. It's just a bit cleaner and newer, you know, but there are some details missing, like the venting on the side is missing. The vents aren't deep. That's my biggest issue. But overall, it's a nice shell. And then it comes with light buckets, front and back. The good thing about this is it's got this like an exterior cover, and then an interior, which is the lens area, the reflector area of the light. And it's got slight dimples in there, I don't know if the camera will see that, where you can pierce the moulding and put in fine leads. Now I've got some very, very, very small ones, which would probably be okay, but you're still going to mount them somehow. So what I might have to do is make a solid part to go in the back of each cluster. So a traditional rounded moulded lead could be fit in, or panel mount LEDs, I don't know yet. But there's plenty of potential to put lights in the back. And in the front, on the Mercedes, it only had the front cover, which is the front section, which is that part there. The bulbous lens, which just had a decal put on it, not transparent in any way, and the cover is actually the body shell masked off. Now they've gone and put in rear buckets here, so it's got indentations for the reflectors, and again indentations to drill them or pierce them. So there's potential there to make internal frames to support LEDs, which is nice. I like that. What else have they done? So the wheels in the kit, I was a little bit disappointed on the on the box you've got these wheel covers on the front wheels, and I was looking in the box. I'm not doing an unboxing, they're all over the internet. The front wheels are like this, so they are molded in one piece, which means there's a decal to go on there which says Porsche 956, the round white one, which covers the front face. But the rim itself should be a different colour to the disc, which means you're going to have to spray the rim and then apply the disc. But then the edge of the disc, for the crazy people like me, will be the paint colour that you sprayed the wheel. And you're not going to get your fin, although the fin colours are dark on the box, so you could get away with it. I would have preferred a push-in component to go on that. The back wheel, it's a legitimate wheel for the 956. Some people want the BBX style, some people want other styles. I've got a folder full on the computer of research for the C11, for the 959, and now for the 956, and lots of different wheel combinations and colours were used, so I wouldn't stress too much about that. Go with what you want, go with what you like. It's been requested that I make a cover for the rear wheel. Personally, I don't like the rear wheel covered, I like to see it. So I don't know about that. But anyway, those are the wheels that come with the kit. The decal sheet. Now this is going to be the biggest bone of contention for many people buying the kit. There's a key sponsor on there which has simply racing written on it, which replaces a tobacco brand of the same livery, which is on a lot of other cars and vehicles. And of course we can't use tobacco branding in any sales things anymore, so they've replaced that legitimately. But a lot of people want to go back to how it would have been on the real deal. And what a lot of people have been doing is buying duplicate sets for this one and having them scaled to 1/10 to fit on this one. Now, my issue with that is be careful if you're going to do that, because Tamiya do change proportions, and I see on here, I don't know if I can demonstrate that, the roof inlet duct is slightly longer on the new one, and the rear one is slightly longer on the new one than the Repro, and the side intakes next to the doors are slightly different. So any joins in the decals are could be an issue. But of course the key sponsors are the ones we really need. I would suggest using the sheet that comes with the body for the lining, for the window frames and stuff like that, because they're made for that body. Carefully cut out, if you're going to buy the Repro set, carefully cut out the sponsor brand and apply those. The only tricky one is, and anyone who paints RC bodies knows, the rear fin on the back of here is very well molded. That's not such an easy thing, but it's 5mm open, 5mm wide at the bottom, and tapers up to about 3mm at the top. So filling that with paint, yeah, that's a nasty exercise. You've really got to paint very lightly, build it up. But more often than not, this part here ends up sort of translucent. And in this case, it's white and it's blue on the inside. So paint, you can't mask the inside to paint white and blue. You'd have to paint white and blue on the outside. So what they've done, you paint it white, hope that you've got it all into the corners and around the top here to avoid that translucent look. But they've been pretty smart. They've covered themselves. At the top of the sheet, you can see a white and a blue wedge. So that's for the outside and the inside. So if you do fluff up the filling of that fin, you're okay. But it's got that key sponsor on there again. And I'm not sure the Repros have that on that white panel. So you could cut out the Repros, paint it best you can, and stick it on the white paint work. Or you could stick it over that, slightly larger. Or you cut a white piece, which I can also cut in vinyl, ready So you put the white panel on, and then you put the sponsor on top of that. So that's what I'm looking at. Now, do I produce the key sponsor logos, have them produced for myself and my kits? I don't know yet. I can redraw them to exactly the right scale, and there are a few other key components missing from this. The fuel manufacturer and the tyre manufacturer are definitely missing from this sheet, so there was obviously a licensing issue. There are other ones on here which I was surprised about, which I designed and drew myself for the Project 959, and they're on here now. So they're also okay. And the front toe eye is just a red circle decal. So what do? I'm thinking of chopping that whole section out there and modelling a part to go in there to make a real three-dimensional toe eye. Exhausts, definitely need exhausts. Now we've got two setups here. So you've got, I don't know what they've actually done. On there you've got the Porsche with the fins, like the gills, which aren't moulded, so they're just stickers, and the exhaust outlet, which is really bad, which was exactly the same as the C11, awful. And then on this side, you have it with you have the same thing with just a black oval with no tips sticking out. So not quite sure what they've done there. They've made decals to do I think 3 different cars, so it's possible. I didn't find one with no exhaust sticking out, but that's an easy part to make, or easy, yeah. So that's going to be definitely made. Levers and stuff, emergency cut-offs, I'm going to probably do. Hinges, there are moulded body door hinges on there, but there are other bits and pieces I've seen in my library of stuff of the 956. Fuel caps, I didn't do that. That's the round one there. I didn't do that on the C11, but I might do that on this one, because there's an indentation on the body which can be cut out very, very nicely. And all the parts that I make, I produce self-adhesive masks, vinyl masks. You can stick the mask on and then cut to the mask, and then with a Dremel or a file, cleanly go to the mask. Makes it much easier for everybody to cut out holes in the body shell. And all the parts I did for the Mercedes are retrofittable. So that meant the people could buy the kits, build it exactly how they want, and then just fit all my parts. Now, that's going to be the same with this one, except this, the sponsor stuff. Now, legitimately, there's been one of these cars racing up Goodwood with the racing branding on it, because it's on camera, they're not allowed to show the tobacco brand. So legitimately and nicely, you could go racing. Or you go your own way, put all the lines on, and then change the sponsors. The sponsor on the front, sponsor on the roof, easy. Rear wing, sponsor, side panel, main, main one. Yeah, that one, the white one there, is very easy. That's the rear wing part. So they're easy, chop out of another one and mix with the original sheets. So I might not get involved with that, because there's already a lot of options for that. Rear wing is, there's some details on there. I can see on the box lid. I think there's a solid part included in the kit, but there's a stay behind that, an adjustable stay. The rear wing itself is also vacuum formed. I don't have it here. No, it's also vacuum formed, so that potentially I could go solid on that, which would be nice, because then, yeah, it would be very nice. Yeah. What are you thinking? Because you don't have that vacuum formed, two-dimensional shape. We've got antenna, we've got roof beacons. I'm looking at the box, sorry. I'm looking at the box. Antenna, roof beacons. And I've got a ton of other parts that I've seen on real cars that there's like side markers and things like that. So there's a ton of stuff on here that they've not put in the kit, of course, or put as two-dimensional stuff. So that's where we are. So Project 956 is not building a whole car, it's going to be producing details like I did with the C11, but trying to raise the game a little bit more with the experience I've got with the Project 959, some more bits and pieces. It goes without saying that any parts I make like the wipers, for example. I take this one. They come with all the fixings. So that's got 2 screws to hold that on, because that's a dual arm lever system on the wiper. So they will be, you pierce the body and screw those in. Every part that's stuck onto the body comes with a template to cut it and double-sided tape, which is exactly what I did with the C11. All laser cut, so they can stick immediately on. Don't have to worry with glue and things. The kit, this one comes with mirrors, door mirrors, so I don't have to make those, unless they're ghastly, which I don't think they are. Wiper done, maybe some markers, indicators, things like that. But I'm going to go through the list and see what I can find. Now, next week I'm away, so I won't have access to my printers. So today I'm going to be scanning this, so I've got the full detail of that to take with me on my laptop, because I'm going to be working while I'm away anyway. So I can start modelling. Can't get any prototypes made, but I've got a week of modelling, which is how I do all my kits. The Stratos stuff, the Fiat 131 stuff, the 959, the C11. It's all been basically born when I'm away from the office, away from home, where I can focus more on drawing stuff. It's born out of that. The packaging is already ordered for these kits. I've ordered some test packaging, because they're going to be packaged like I do the C11 stuff. Not for show, but for safe transport, because I like all this stuff to arrive all around the world safely. All the kits that I sell, so I'm actually a Tamiya dealer now for Europe, or for Belgium, sorry, but I sell within Europe. There's no point selling overseas further to Australia, to the US, because the shipping is just silly on these things, and you can buy them locally, but all the update stuff only comes from me. But every kit I sell, whether it's the 956 and later the Hornet Evo, things like that, will come with bits that they don't include in the box. They don't include full bearing sets in this box. So, foam insert, simple, zip protect it, and sealed bearings. See them in that? So there's a full set of bearings for the Group C chassis, and I'll have Group C chassis bearing sets online anyway, but that's the set for the 956. 956 RMR performance products. So every kit that I ship will be done with those. And then the details kits are going to be an ongoing process until I sign off myself on, okay, I'm done with that. And then I'll be putting them online for sale, as I did with the C11 stuff. Rear diffuser, I'm not sure yet. It's very, very tucked underneath, and very, very subtle rear diffusion tunnel on the 956 compared to the C11 and other LMP cars. I've got some reference pictures. They're not very good. I've got the mounting system worked out. I know how I'm going to mount something. I've done that now with this car. I've done it with several other Group C cars. So I'm going to look what's going to be viable for that, just to add another level if it's needed. The wheels are, I might just, I've got a model of a front Group C wheel. I don't know if there's going to be demand for it, but I might just model another wheel. They're very simple. There's no, as we know, there's no grooves on it for tyres. It's a tube, but the mounting, of course, it has bearings in it. It's quite critical. But I might make it 2-part so that cover can be modelled, printed and painted separately rather than just a decal. Let me know if that's something you would really like, because that's not really linked to body details. That's going back into complete project development, which is cool. Once again, be careful if you're going to use the reproduction decals. Don't assume they're going to fit. Use as many of the original new ones as you can, because they are definitely going to fit. Tamiya are absolutely fantastic in producing their decals for fitment and measure. The vinyl is also thinner than any repro I've seen. They go on much nicer. So if you can just change the sponsors, go for it. So buy a set of repros at the right scale and then change the sponsors if that's what you want. I might just go with racing, because I don't think many people will. Colours PS4, I noticed. which is a bit odd because these look very dark. The blues on this look very dark. I don't have the 959 here to check. But that's what it says in the manual anyway. I don't have the manual here. So there we have it. The detail kits are going to be built. They're going to be underway. This is the one I've been waiting for. I was lucky enough to get a box of 6 of these for the shop. I've got my one here and they're on the shop already, and every kit that goes out comes with one of these, and the detail kits will be following in the coming weeks, I hope, as soon as everything's finalized. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, everybody, and all the projects that I do. Crazy stuff as it is, and I hope you all get your 956s very soon. Cheers. Bye bye.